Hello everybody. I wanted to show you the DIY trauma kit that we put together. That's this bag here. And I looked at a lot of other videos and read a lot trying to figure out what to put in. And I got a lot of input from my wife, who's a nurse. So before I show you what's in this trauma kit, which I think is pretty extensive, so it might give you some ideas if you're trying to put one together. I think this video might be helpful. But obviously this bag, even though it's not real big, it's not real heavy, there's still plenty of times where maybe it wouldn't be practical to take a bag like this with you or have it on you. So what would you do, if it wasn't practical to bring this bag? Well, I've got this trauma pack from Adventure Medical Kits. And, there's plenty of videos on this where they show you the contents, but this would be kind of the secondary bag. This would be good for backpacking, more remote camping, shit hit the fan scenarios where this would just be too big to take for whatever reason you felt it was too much, or just common everyday carry. This could fit in a pocket if you have, especially bulkier clothing on, certainly take with your car. So that's certainly an option. Let's say, there's three of us, my wife and I and our son. If we were all three backpacking, I would want everyone to have something. If we weren't bringing this, for example, I might have this in my backpack, along with this Israeli emergency bandage. I think it's important to have this to go along with this. I think that gives you a pretty complete kit. So I would have those two. Now my wife and son, they would probably have these two in their backpack. And these would be in addition to your basic first aid kits too. We would all have a basic first aid kit. So we'd have a quick clot and the Israeli bandage. So they would have these two things in their backpacks. So we have enough of these where we can do that without even having the main trauma bag, which is right here with us. So that's how I would handle that. Okay. So now let's take a look at the main trauma bag that we put together. Okay, there's two main compartments. This is from a nebulizer bag that we didn't need anymore. I didn't buy a special bag for the trauma kit. This is about the right size. I was able to get everything I wanted in. It's a tight fit, but it's not an ideal bag because it's not a regular first aid type of bag with the different compartments. But it's what we had and what we decided to use. So first we'll take a look at this pocket. This pocket is less for traumatic wounds than for some other emergency things. So let me take these out and I'll lay them out, and then we'll come right back. Okay, so these are the things that were in this pocket. I took everything out. So let's see what we've got here. These are for kind of emergency things, but not your typical traumatic wound type of things. Okay, first here we have burn aid gel for burns. We have ammonia inhalants. We have a snake bite kit. We have two Epipens that are still current. These are for if you have severe allergic reactions. They're an emergency emergency shot to inject. So I highly recommend you get those. Usually your doctor, if you ask, say you're traveling, say you'd really like one in case of a severe allergic reaction. We've been able to get several. We have more in our other main first aid kit. Something I think a lot of people ought to have with them, and this is a toothache kit. We have other dental things in our main first aid kits and our backpacking kit, but I thought I'd have one in here also. Finger splint, an iPad. We have extra strength Tylenol for pain, and we have Vicodin for pain, some leftover from a prescription we didn't need. And we have an emergency survival rescue blanket if someone was in shock or something or was cold, to keep them cold. So that's that compartment. So I'm going to put those back in, and then we'll open the main compartment and see what's in there. I would like to point out with these emergency Israeli bandages, they have directions on them, but I think it's important to order an extra one so that you can open it up and practice. Anybody who you want to be able to use this, they should be practicing and using this. There are some excellent videos on YouTube that go over how to use these bandages. And so we've ordered 4. That way, 1 to practice with, and we have 3 others, 1 for each person if necessary. So, practicing with this I think is important. Practicing with the tourniquet, practicing with any of the materials whenever possible, I think is definitely important. And that's something we're definitely trying to do over the next couple of months. Okay, here we're back, and now this is all the things that were in the main compartment of the bag. You can see there's a lot of stuff in there, and it was a tight fit. But we're able to get everything in there, and I think it's organized enough where you can get it if you need it, especially if you're familiar with what you have. So let's go left to right and see what we have. Okay, we have a CPR Rescue Mask kit with directions. Okay, we do need to practice a little bit on that. We have skin prep pads for cleaning wounds. Okay, we have a suture kit for sealing wounds if necessary. We have Steri-Strip for sealing wounds, and we have a disposable skin stapler with 35 regular staples. These are all sterile if necessary. We also have some various pads, first aid pads to use. We have just some regular Band-Aids. We have plenty of those also in the regular first aid kit, and some triple antibiotic ointment. Okay, keep going to the right. Okay, we have our Israeli emergency bandage. We have a CAT tourniquet, military tourniquet, and I'd like to get a couple more of these so that everyone could have one on them if we were out, camping, backpacking, or SHTF situation. But they're kind of expensive, so it's going to be a while before I can order 2 more, but at least we have 2. Of course, there's the directions that go with it, and we're going to practice with this so everybody knows how to use it. Going back up, we have gloves. This is the only sterile gloves right there. The others aren't sterile. I'd like to get some more sterile ones, but I just haven't found a good deal on them. And of course we have scissors to cut open clothing. We have several tape and gauze bandages. And we have a mask also. And we have a saline spray wound wash also that fit in there pretty nice to wash out wounds. Okay, going back over here, we have Celox to stop bleeding. So we have the powder, pretty big bag, and we also have the applicator syringe where you can put the syringe and inject it down into a deep wound, traumatic wound. We also have a halo seal for deep chest wounds where people are not able to breathe. This is a halo seal for those kinds of chest wounds. We also have of course, a quick clot. We have a triangular bandage with pins, and my wife's a bunch of her tools, clamps, tweezers, small scissors, several things that she thought would be necessary, including a staple remover if we use the stapler. And lastly, I made a copy from the medical adventure kits. They had basically first aid directions in that kit, and I thought it'd be helpful to have those same directions in here, so I made a complete copy of the Adventure Medical Kit, and I think these are very good, very helpful. I think should be useful. So, this is the contents of our trauma bag we put together. Hopefully this helped you think about what you might want to include. And again, we have different levels of trauma kits here. We have our main trauma kit, and then we have smaller versions of them to use if this is just simply not practical to bring out. But it's something we can bring with us a lot of the time, but definitely not all the time. So if you have any questions, be sure to let me know. Hopefully this was helpful to you. We'll see you later.